important thing to me is to make music that I like, that I identify with. I like to make lyrics that speak about the society and things that I think about the society. So I like to think that the world or some people are ready for me, but I don't know. I think the most important thing to me is really to make something that I'm happy with, and then let's see what happens. I don't know.
Olha Maria, corres atrás de vestígios teus, de ninguém mais. Olha Maria, se fores embora, vais-te perder, já era hora.
Hi everybody, I'm Selma Wamus with Mike Steller. We're from Seattle in Lisbon, and we have the wonderful pleasure to have with us Ana Lua Caiano. Not a newcomer, but a rising star for sure. She mixes traditional music with electronics, and it's really a pleasure to have you here and to listen to your showcase with us. You have this song that says, sai da frente que eu vou passar, tenho de montar futuro para mim. So I think you're an artist that you're looking to the future. What is this future? What do you think it's going to be the future of music? What is the future of your music?
Hello, thank you very much for the invitation. I like to think in the present because I'm a very anxious person. So if I start to think ahead, I start to be a little bit nervous. So I like to think in the moment. Right now I'm very happy for being able to play, to make concerts, to launch more music. So I'm very glad that I was able to present my music, and now I'll be on several festivals. So right now I think the thing that is going to be the next step is that my second EP that is going to be out on the 5th of May, and then in December I will have another album, so it's a year full of new releases. But I like to think, like, I don't know what is coming next to December, but
Yeah, well, when you say step aside, I want to go to the future. What is that future like? Maybe not directing only to you. What is the future of the music? What is the future of being in Lisbon or being in Portugal making music?
I really love to produce music, and my passion is really to being able to experiment. And as you said, I make sure Portuguese traditional music with electronics, but I'm always searching for new things. So I do not like to have this be stuck in a particular thing. I like to always be learning and trying new things and new sounds. So I think my future here in Lisbon is to always search for new people and new things that I could improve or change. So I think the base of my work is to experiment, to make things, to not to be stuck or not to be quiet.
Okay, so Selma is in the future. You are in the present. I want to go a little bit back into your past, because you are classically trained, some studies in jazz, some experience in soundtracks, and then you get here to this fusion of electronic and Portuguese music. How does that appear?
I always had this thing for the traditional part of Portuguese music, but it was a little bit different because I was much little, so I started to interact with other people, to play with bands, like with a guitar and a double bass, then another band with a piano, double bass and drums. So I was always trying to find new people to play with, and for me to experience and to listen my own songs with other people. And then what happened was COVID. So when I was in quarantine, I could not play with anyone. So I had these compositions that I make almost daily because it's really what I like to do. And I started to think, okay, now I have to try to do this alone. I started like step by step trying to use the things that I had. I have had a synthesizer, that was the one, it was here today, and drums also. And so I started to mix everything that I had on that room and more things like daily sounds, like the wind, things that I recorded, I don't know, lemons going on the ground, everything that I could find I would record and I would try to use in my music. So I think my music started on this environment that I had to experiment and try to do things on my own. Yeah.
You're an experimentalist, so it's really nice how you are a one-woman show, but you have all these layers, all these different layers of Portuguese music, but of course of all these influences that Mike spoke. But how can the fact that you are Portuguese, how can the traditional music influence your art, because it's your own art? And what can we learn with traditional music, with Portuguese traditional music, especially for the ones that have never listened to traditional music and now they will listen to you? What have you learned by being Portuguese and about your roots? Because nowadays we look at you and you're so cool, but it wasn't cool to do traditional music a few years ago. So how cool is it, the traditional Portuguese music?
Since I was little, my parents put the CDs in the car, and I've listened to CDs on repeat, and most of them were Portuguese songwriters that are connected to the revolution, like Afonso, Sérgio Godinho. They were not like traditional music, but they were influenced also by the traditional music in Portugal. I think that the most impressive thing that I found in Portuguese music is that it's much more complex than we think. I have some books that have like the notation of the traditional Portuguese music. The rhythm is sometimes very strange. When you listen, it sounds very good, but when you try to, this doesn't, isn't that simple. So I think it's very beautiful to see that music that could sound simple is not as simple as we think. It has a lot of harmonies, and I think those are the things that I'm most influenced by: the harmonies and the canons and playing with melodies and with rhythm.
Yeah, we are definitely strange people, and it's time the world get to know a little bit more of us. But it's interesting you talk of that, because you are part of a new generation of artists in Portugal that is reconnecting with our roots. Okay, would you say it's a search for our identity, to explore something that was a little bit closed for many years, as Selma said before?
Yeah, I think that nowadays there are some composers that are trying to take this traditional Portuguese music and mix it with rock and with indie. You see more traditional part of the music coming alive today, and I think it's really interesting. I think that when I started to compose, I didn't really think, okay, I'm going to use the traditional music, or I'm going to try, or I have the same. But I think since it was something that I listened so much, and it was part of my identity, and maybe I didn't realize it. It was something that it came out naturally, those harmonies, those rhythms, and I really love to listen to new things, to study, to see what is recorded. We have a wonderful program that is called Música Portuguesa a Gostar dela Própria, and you can see daily new videos of people singing songs that are from their village and you haven't heard them before. So it's really nice to listen to these several people and to listen to the traditional music. When I started to compose, I didn't think, okay, I'm going to use this. I think it was very natural for me, and so the mixture was also very natural, because I don't think it was forced. It was very natural. I didn't want to repeat myself.
And what about the other side? We're talking about the Portuguese influence, but the electronic influence. Where does it come from?
I really love to listen to many different styles of music. I love to listen to Portishead, Laurie Anderson, Björk, I don't know, Silver Apples. So when it comes to music, I think that I listen to a lot. I have, as I said, a more sentimental connection to traditional Portuguese music, but I'm open to every kind of style. I'm really a music lover. Before 2020, I started to search for new ways of making music, because classical music and jazz were a little bit more closed in terms of the techniques or the way they thought about the chords and the music. So I started to search for choruses and for little things that could help me expand my vision of music. since I like to listen to things with synthesizers and things more experimental, and I did a course, for example, with Aka Parmerud. That was a course about concrete music. That it's a kind of music that uses any kind of sound to make music. I started to be interested in more like with machines, synthesizers, and to try new things, and really to just to experiment and find new sounds and new things that I was excited.
You look from the outside, you have this very sweet and naive looks, but you look so fierce and fearless. You're not afraid of trying new things. I imagined that you had started a long time before to plan your music, but we've heard that it was just from 2020. You're a one-woman show. You are a composer, you are a musician, you are a producer, you are a singer, you also make your videos, you use lemons for your music and all that. You seem very independent. And when I listen to your music and to your lyrics, I listen to lots of statements. What is to be a woman in the music business with your age at this moment in Portugal, and what are the boundaries that you have or that you don't have? You feel totally free or not on your art? What would you like to say as a Portuguese woman in the music business?
Since I can remember, I was always very shy. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm very shy in the real world. So for me it was a challenge to make music and to try to start projects. But I had this strength inside that I needed to compose and I needed to show my music. Maybe it's not obvious, but I think when you see someone like you doing the things that you didn't think you could do, I think it's very good because, for example, I said some names from the Portuguese Revolution and all of them were men, so we didn't have that much of songwriters, Portuguese songwriters, and I think it's really important.
But actually, when you spoke about electronic music, you spoke about women.
Yeah. So it's very cool to see that nowadays you have a lot of women in this area, and I think it's very, when you see another woman, I think you have, okay, I can do this as well. And it was a woman about my age also that played alone with a different kind of set, but it was like an enlightenment. It was not only that, I saw a lot of videos, but I think it's good to have representation and you could identify with. I always had this strength of like send admission to every kind of contests and everything. So I sent, I think for a contest that was Are the Recorders in Porto. I was one of the selected. And I didn't know how to play alone, and I said I would play alone. So I was okay. Now I have to play alone because I didn't have band. It was in early 2021, so it was a little bit difficult yet in terms of COVID and being with other people. So I had to start to play alone, and so I had this that was going to be recorded in June, and I knew in April that I had to do that, so like in 2 months I composed 2 musics to that format. I played alone and I went alone to Porto in the train because I didn't drive then.
I saw your concert at Womex. And actually, Sama was also at the Womex. I'm wondering because you're telling me all these things. I thought that you knew how to play all those instruments, and it was really amazing. I don't know how the experience was for you, but I would like to know. Do you think that your music is ready for the world, or is the world ready for your music? Are you ready for the world?
Yeah, I think I'm ready, and I think the world is. I don't know. The most important thing to me is to make music that I like and that I identify with. I like to make lyrics that speak about the society and things that I think about the society. So I like to think that the world or some people are ready for me, but I don't know. I think the most important thing to me is really to make something that I'm happy with, and then let's see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, last year you did a collaboration with Rossana, which is also an artist that is experimenting around traditional music and electronic. Are you open into doing more things with other people and expand your universe, leaving your one-woman show?
Yeah, I think when it comes to collaboration, I'm very open to it, and I have some things on the table that might happen this year or next year. But it's really cool to work with other people, because sometimes there are people from a very different universe. Now I'm starting a collaboration with a Brazilian songwriter, so it's a really different experience to try to join two worlds that are different, and I really like that, because for me it's a process, a little bit of a lonely process to make almost everything alone, to study the music alone. So it's very good to have those kinds of opportunities to meet other people. When it comes to concerts, I don't know if I want yet to have other people on stage, because I really like to play alone. It has a lot of adrenaline and a lot of effort, but it's really something that gives me a lot of pleasure. So I don't know, maybe in the future.
You live in Lisbon. It's a very diverse city, and you were talking about collaborations, and you spoke about making a collaboration with a Brazilian artist. We're now a lot talking about post-colonialism and the resolution of all these questions about the discoveries and all that. Are you interested on mixing also your music with other countries, Brazil and other African countries that speak the same language? Is it something that it's interesting for you?
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'm very open to. I really love world music, Cesária Évora, I don't know, Chico Buarque, Mercedes Souza. It would be a pleasure for me to be able to collaborate with people that have different kinds of sonorities, and I think it would be very good to reconnect to those people and those countries in different ways, and in positive ways. Yeah, I would love that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ana.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, would you like to say something to our audience from Sama?
To the world.
To the world. To the world.
Thank you very much for listening to my music, and I hope I can go to Seattle someday.
corres atrás de vestígios teus de ninguém mais. Olha, Maria, se fores embora, vais-te perder, já era hora. Olha, Maria, corres atrás de vestígios teus de ninguém mais. Olha, Maria, se fores embora, vais-te perder, já era hora. Nem mal me queres, nem flores de loja, nem mal me queres, nem bem me queres. Queres-me maçã de outro lado, de outra árvore. Nem mal dizes, nem bem dizes, só mudas insuportável. Só se ouve o vento que passa por baixo da porta. Eu não sei o que queres de mim, se posso mexer os meus ombros, se posso abrir armários. Sinto aí o teu mau olhado, com o meu piscar de olhos paro como um friar. Eu não sei o que queres de mim, se posso mexer os meus ombros, se posso abrir armários. Sinto aí o teu mau olhado, com o meu piscar de olhos paro como um friar. Nem flores de loja, nem mal me queres, nem bem me queres. Queres-me maçã de outro lado, de outra árvore. Nem mal dizes, nem bem dizes, só mudas insuportável. Só se ouve o vento que passa por baixo da porta. Eu não sei o que queres de mim, se posso mexer os meus ombros, se posso abrir armários. Sinto aí o teu mau olhado, com o meu piscar de olhos paro como um friar. Eu não sei o que queres de mim, se posso mexer os meus ombros, se posso abrir armários. Sinto aí o teu mau olhado, com o meu piscar de olhos paro como um friar. naufrágio. Mão na mão, mão no pé, pão na boca, pé no chão. Sabes bem, meu amor, ai não entro nesse rio. Sabes como é o vento que às vezes vem. Tu cais onde eu fico, meu amor. Tu já nem sabes bem se achas belas as maçãs. Tu já nem sabes bem quantos dedos tens nos pés. Tu já nem sabes bem dizer do que te esqueceste. E tu perdido não me mostras o caminho. Mão na mão, mão no pé, pão na boca, pé no chão. Sabes bem, meu amor, ai não entro nesse rio. Sabes como é o vento que às vezes vem. Tu cais onde eu fico, meu amor. Mão na mão, mão no pé, pão na boca, pé no chão. Sabes bem, meu amor, ai não entro nesse rio. Sabes como é o vento que às vezes vem. Tu cais onde eu fico, meu amor. Mão na mão, mão no pé, pão na boca, pé no chão. Sabes bem, meu amor, ai não entro nesse rio. Sabes como é o vento que às vezes vem. Tu cais onde eu fico, meu amor. Por quem te tomas tu a levar-me para esse barco? Por quem te tomas tu a dizer que tenho de ir? Por quem te tomas tu quando dizes que o meu medo te dá vontade de rir? Mão na mão, mão no pé, pão na boca, pé no chão. Sabes bem, meu amor, ai não entro nesse rio. Sabes como é o vento que às vezes vem. Tu cais onde eu fico, meu amor. Mão na mão, mão no pé, pão na boca, pé no chão. Sabes bem, meu amor, ai não entro nesse rio. Sabes como é o vento que às vezes vem. Tu cais onde eu fico, meu amor. Se queres, vai tu sozinho, eu daqui não saio. Vai tu morder o rio. Se queres, vai tu sozinho, eu daqui não saio, nem que morra por aqui. Se queres, vai tu sozinho, eu daqui não saio. Vai tu morder o rio. Se queres, vai tu sozinho, eu daqui não saio, nem que morra por aqui. Mão na mão, mão no pé, pão na boca, pé no chão. Sabes bem, meu amor, ai não entro nesse rio. Sabes como é o vento que às vezes vem. Tu cais onde eu fico, meu amor. Mão na mão, mão no pé, pão na boca, pé no chão. Sabes bem, meu amor, ai não entro nesse rio. Sabes como é o vento que às vezes vem. Tu cais onde eu fico, meu amor.